First up, Katy Perry, the iconic singer, was part of Blue Origin's first all-female crew that went up to space on Monday for a smooth 11-minute ride.
While the Blue Origin all-female spaceflight is back on solid ground, the internet has launched its own barrage of conspiracy claims.
The all-female Blue Origin flight that took Katy Perry into space has been deemed fake by conspiracy theorists. After the New Shepard capsule landed, Jeff Bezos used a special tool.
All right, folks, it's April 2025, and I think we've officially hit peak delusion in celebrity culture because Katy Perry, yes, that Katy Perry, is out here trying to convince the world that she's basically an astronaut now. I wish I were joking, but the internet hasn't forgotten, and trust me, it definitely hasn't forgiven. See, Katy Perry, along with Gail King and a couple of other hand-picked PR darlings, went up on a glorified amusement park ride courtesy of Blue Origin, you know, Jeff Bezos' space vanity project that costs more than the GDP of a small country. And ever since their trip, the backlash has been building like a bad cold, and now it's straight up pneumonia. And honestly, it's well deserved. Let's start with the obvious. Katy Perry's reaction to all this criticism has been, in a word, pathetic. Instead of just sitting down, keeping quiet, and letting the internet's short attention span move on to the next disaster, she's doubling down hard. She's now trying to paint herself as some kind of galactic hero, a brave soul who risked her life for the advancement of womankind, all while looking dead-eyed into a camera with a daisy in her hand, like she's starring in a shampoo commercial, not launching into orbit. And yes, people noticed. In fact, one of the biggest memes to come out of this whole fiasco was Katy not looking out the window while in zero gravity, but instead staring straight into the camera, milking the moment for all the PR value she could squeeze out of it.
You are now officially an astronaut.
Is it a 10 out of 10? That's my review.
10 out of 10.
You definitely go for it. 10 out of 10.
Well, it was very profound. I don't know if you've seen Katy Perry talk about it, but she's basically a guru now.
Forget awe or wonder. This wasn't about space. This was about screen time. But it gets worse. Now she's dragging out the gender card to deflect from the very valid criticism she's been getting. According to her, people aren't mocking the ridiculousness of a corporate-sponsored ego trip broadcast on live TV. No, they're just misogynists who hate seeing women in the spotlight. Give me a break. Here's what Katy recently said in an effort to salvage what's left of her image. I think the real issue is that when a group of women go to space, people just don't know how to handle it. There's a problem with how society views women in the spotlight. Oh please, the only spotlight here was the one you shoved in your own face while floating in low Earth orbit for about 11 minutes. She continues, saying things like, "We were risking our lives up there, just like real astronauts." No, Katy, real astronauts spend months in space. They train for years. They go up there to do actual science, not to promote their brand and pretend a space joyride is some kind of spiritual awakening. And then came the most desperate stretch of all. This was the first all-female crew to go to space. It should be celebrated. Listen, if Blue Origin wanted to celebrate women in space, they should have sent actual female astronauts, not a pop star clinging to relevance and a talk show host with a 5-minute training montage. This was not Hidden Figures. This was a televised ego parade in a rocket that's shaped like an adult toy, and the damage control isn't working. Even some of Katy's loyal fans have started turning on her, pointing out how tone-deaf the whole thing was. The reaction felt fake. The smiles looked staged. The training they brag about, it was basically rich people playing dress-up for a few weeks. That's it. Meanwhile, while Katy was waving daisies in zero-G and trying to look profound for the camera, actual astronauts were stuck up on the ISS, doing real work, running real risks, and barely got a mention in the news. That, right there, is what's so infuriating. Katy Perry's 5-minute joyride got more airtime than the return of astronauts who'd spent months in space keeping humanity's presence in orbit alive. And now, with her back against the wall, she ends her rant with the cherry on top. Could misogyny be playing a role in all this? I'm not ruling it out. Girl, you're not getting mocked because you're a woman. You're getting mocked because you turned a space mission into a red carpet event. And instead of accepting that maybe, just maybe, this wasn't the empowering moment you thought it was, you've chosen to double down and call anyone who points that out a hater.